Hello YouTube, Sidekick here in my trusty BombCat, using an air start today just to so we can get right to the action. As you can see, I put it in autopilot, dropping in the back seat. Today we're going to talk about toss bombing. So there are some particular settings I need to get right here in the Rio setting. We need to be in computer target mode. We need to be rippling all the bombs off in singles. And we also need to make sure we drop all of them, which requires zooming in on the little dials there. And now we can jump back in the front seat. Okay, so toss bombing in the F-14 requires you to actually designate the target before you can toss the bombs. Unlike some of the more modern fighters where you can do it from a waypoint, from coordinates that are entered even on the ground, you cannot do that in the F-14. You have to come in, designate the target as if you were going to do a computer target drop on it, and then you have to turn around and go back out and do the toss bombing run. That means that toss bombing probably has a little bit less utility in the F-14 than it does in some of the other aircraft. You can't really preserve the same kind of standoff and surprise as you can in a F-18 or a Viggen or an F-15 or even a Harrier. But it's still interesting to see how it performs and compare them to those other jets, because of course we've done toss bombing in those other jets. So we've now designated the target, except I don't like that designation. So I'm going to redo it again, so I'm getting closer and closer to the target. If I'd done a good designation the first time, that wouldn't have been bad standoff, but I want to get it right. I want to be in front of the target because the computer is going to target the first impact at the designation point. Okay, now we're going to turn around and we're going to go back out. We're going to drop down low. We're going to fly towards the target, and somewhere between 6 nautical miles and 5 nautical miles, we're going to pull up and do standard sort of toss bombing technique. So just going to turn around here. Now, there's not a whole lot for the Rio to be doing in that designation sequence. That's one of the things that's a little disappointing with the way it works in the F-14. I really believe that the Rio could be helpful if he could be given some control of the actual camera during designation, but there doesn't seem to be a way to do that. If you do know something I'm missing, please let me know. But of course, once we actually start the toss bombing run, the Rio does have a useful function to perform, which is basically just telling the pilot what the numbers are. The pilot's going to be very interested in watching the HUD and in staying aligned, because of course when you're toss bombing, you have to preserve your alignment very carefully. So he's not really going to be able to look at the range or the speed as easily, because he doesn't want to go head down in the cockpit. He wants to stay eyes up. And of course the Rio can just feed him that information. So there is a role to play for a second crew member in this procedure, and I've done it as a Rio working with other pilots, and I think it works actually even a little bit better than what I got today. Unfortunately, the track file from that run was corrupted, so I'm not able to use it, but it was truly a thing of beauty, as the pilot himself will no doubt attest if he wants to make a comment to this video. But I'm going to show you the run that I did in single player, and it's entirely possible to do in single player, but as in most things in the Tomcat, it's a lot more fun with friends. Okay, so we're just lining ourselves up. The objective is to fly straight towards the target. Rio's going to be calling out the distance from the HSI, and we're just going to be trying to stay low and stay fast. And when the time is right, we are just going to pull up, trying to keep the diamond centered. When the first line passes the diamond, we will pickle. Here we go, time to go up. Not doing a very strong pop-up. And there go the bombs. So for a first try in the F-14, that's not bad. We could have pulled up a lot harder if we wanted to throw them a little bit farther, but I was just more interested in seeing whether or not I could get it to work. So let's take a quick look at the target as we wait for the bombs to land. It is taking a while, so we did throw them a ways. Well, it's pretty hard to argue with those results. So I would say that is a very accurate toss bombing result. Here's another look at it. right through the target where we wanted them to be. Excellent. So certainly no problem with accuracy in the toss bombing in the Tomcat. Now just waiting for the target impact tracking script results, and look at that. So we achieved that accuracy from 6 kilometers away and with a pull-up angle of only 15 degrees when we released the bomb. So I'm pretty sure the Tomcat could throw stuff a lot farther than that. I think the longest we've ever seen is something around 8 kilometers with 1,000-pound bombs. So there certainly is room to get better if you want to compete with some of the other more modern fighters. Whatever else it was a good time. So we'll just go take another quick look at the target area here. So this is basically the third BombCat video that I have done. We took a look at the 2 standard bombing modes, and then this time we looked at toss bombing. Still room to go and take a look at using laser-guided bombs with the lantern pod, which I intend to do, although that's not so much iron bombing. So having sort of looked at the iron bombing capacity of the F-14, I'll basically say that I was very surprised, pleasantly so, at exactly how well the F-14 performs as an iron bomber. Its bombing modes are very accurate and pretty easy to use. CCRP is a little bit of a challenge. As I said, I think if you could get the backseat involved in that, it would make it easier. But there's no reason why you cannot drop bombs very accurately in the F-14. And there's no reason why you can't do it from some distance away, as we proved today. So I've really enjoyed having the F-14 in my stable and learning how to use it as an iron bomber. I've also really enjoyed learning how to actually use it as it was intended to be used as an interceptor, and learning all about how to use the radar in the back, which truly is an impressive piece of gear for when it was developed. So probably be producing a few more videos on that. I know there's already there's a pretty good canon out there on how to be a Rio in the F-14, but there's a few things that I think I've had to learn myself, and maybe I'll share those with you guys. So I hope you keep watching the channel, keep watching for F-14 content, and for now, this is going to be Sidekick, signing off.